Hi, everyone. My name is Gina DeVee, and welcome to the Be the Woman Men Adore Summit. We are so delighted that you're here, and to kick off the very start of this summit, I have the great pleasure and honor of interviewing Shahrzad, the woman who has masterminded all of this herself. So, Shahrzad, thank you so much for the work that you do in the world and for hosting this summit. We're really excited to get to know you more.
Thank you so much, Gina. It's such an honor for me to be interviewed by the woman I adore, and she's such a big inspiration to me, and I'm lucky to call her my mentor, so thank you.
Well, it's a great honor indeed, and there really isn't a more important subject in the world than women really getting how incredible they are, how beautiful they are, and how worthy they are of being adored. And most of us didn't start out this way. Most of us didn't have the perfect modeling and the perfect parents and the perfect view of what relationships really can be like outside of the movies. And I think that your path, from what I know of it, is also not much different than that. So let's start at the starting place, because I think that this is what is so relatable with most of us women. When you're already a young woman, but when you were an even younger woman, how did you feel about yourself in relationship to men?
It feels like such a long time ago. And I think ever since I was 16 years old, Gina, I found myself the girl that blends into the walls. Like just this girl that no man ever really notices. I never had the opportunity, even during my university years, to have guy come and approach me at a bar and ask me out. And not, at least not the guys that I liked. I was never approached. I was never noticed. And I always was in so much resentment, because I always thought, like, okay, I was comparing. So what do all these women have? What does my friend have that all these 5 guys want to talk to her and not to me? Is she prettier than me? Is she sexier than me? Oh, she's funnier than me, so I should go and like learn 5 more jokes so next time I can impress. So I was always trying so hard to get a man to pay attention to me, so I was always auditioning. I was always auditioning. Please pick me. Finally, talk to me. Ask me out. So it was so exhausting, and it was so sad that I had to endure that. And even when I did get a man to finally notice me, even when I finally was asked out, so then I had to now work hard to keep the attention. I had to be like, okay, so yesterday he called me at 9 a.m. and then today it's 10 and it hasn't. So my God, I screwed things up. How can I fix this? How can what is wrong with me? So it was just exhausting, always trying hard to keep a man's attention for years and years and years. And just so much pain. And it didn't end. It didn't even end when I got a relationship.
So was there one, I think we all can relate to that. And was there one kind of just straw that broke the camel's back moment, like an actual scenario that you remember, where you're like, something's got to change?
Oh, yes, for sure. So when I was actually able to be in an exclusive relationship, when I was finally with men, I thought that I will finally be at peace. I thought I finally, now I get the love, I get the attention, but that wasn't the case still either. I wanted a commitment. I wanted to get married, but everyone who came into my life, so again, the auditioning kept going. I was like, okay, how can I play wife? How can I convince him to see me as wife material? So, what do I give? What do I do? I was a woman, obviously, who had zero interest in saying no to a man, because that meant that I'm going to upset him and he's going to walk away, never creating any conflict. And I was never met, like I was always unmet. My desires were unmet. And yet I had the smile on. I was this girl that I was always, looking cheerful while so bitter and resentful on the inside. So it would go on for years. So 13 years with three different men, with 3, 4 years, 5 years, 3 years relationship, and it would all end up in the same thing, that you're a great girl, I just don't feel it. I'm not there yet. And that was my cue to be like, okay, he's not there yet, so it's my responsibility to get him there. So let me work harder. Just please, like, what can I do? What else can I do? So when it came to the third one, Gina, it was, if I was to describe myself, I was that scene from Eat, Pray, Love when she was curled up in a ball on the floor. Like, that was me. I was just feeling so tired, so drained, that why is this happening to me? And at that point, I didn't have a very good relationship with God. But I remember so vividly that day, I cried out that, God, if you're really there, now it's time to show me, because I just can't go through this anymore. What am I doing wrong? Please show me, what am I doing wrong? And it was so heartfelt. Like, it truly came from the bottom of my heart. And my prayers were answered in 3 days. Of course, at the time, I didn't know it was my answer, but somehow I came across a topic that I'd never heard before, called the law of attraction. Never heard of it before. What is that? And I was immediately hooked. I think in a matter of a month, I read about 20 books on it, of what it is and what, feelings and attraction and all of that. And one thing had led to another. And I found out, I came across relationship programs. So I started diving in. And I was confronted with how I was doing everything wrong in a relationship, everything wrong. And it was triggering, but I also had the humility to accept it, because I had a track record of how, things don't work out the way I was approaching it. So I had everything backwards. So after 5 months, so my day that I was on that floor, I exactly remembered, it was June 15, 2013. I started studying these programs, books, and then on November 15, 2013, I went on my first date with my now husband. So it took 5 months.
Wow. Super. What an incredible transformation, to go from literally being on your knees and praying and being so confused as to what's going on, and having that very humbling awareness that everything you're doing is wrong. That can be so debilitating for a woman, and so obviously wreck a woman's confidence, because inside the desire couldn't be bigger or stronger. So let me ask you, even while everything was going wrong and your very clear pattern of auditioning but still not being good enough, and then making it all about you not being enough, was in place, what was your big dream and desire for a relationship?
I wanted to be in a committed relationship that the man is, first of all, willingly giving me the happiness, the commitment, the relationship. I didn't want to, I knew that I didn't want to force it out of him, because what it literally felt like, it was like, I was like, give me, like I was in that. And the way I approached it was that I give to you the things that I want from you, so you would give them back to me. So that was my approach. And because that was my hope, that I was hoping that he would give me the love that is just like I'm pouring towards him. I would give me the dates, the connection, the companionship, the support. I wanted a supportive partner. So I would show up so supportive, but I had an agenda. I wanted him to give it back to me too. So that was my dream, to be in a happy relationship, a committed relationship where the love is and commitment is given willingly, not by force.
And isn't it so interesting? We've got this big dream that is totally opposite than what we've created in our lives. And I think this is where all of that unconscious programming comes into place. And it's stuff that has been modeled to us and stuff that we've learned. So most of us at least learned about relationship dynamics from watching however our parents interacted with each other, whether our parents were together or separated. And like, what programming did you unconsciously pick up along the way watching your own parents?
Excellent question, and it couldn't be further from the truth. I love my mom so much, but I picked it all from her. She is the woman, the biggest giver, the biggest overgiver, the biggest overfunctioner that I know in life. She's in charge of everything. She is doing everything, still does everything. I grew up in Middle East from where I was born until I was 14 years old. So it is a very martyr glorifying country. So the better being a good woman means being an invisible woman and being a giving woman. So it's taught to you that you don't make eye contacts with men because that would label you as easy. So you're heard right away, you learn it right away that you keep away. You don't look at men. You don't allow men to see you, because I believe that your eyes are the windows to your soul. So you right away are hiding who you are from a man right away. And like I said, what was I seeing in my family was my mom that, she's showing her love by taking charge of everything, giving to everybody. She wouldn't eat, make sure we all have eaten. And if there's something left, she would eat it. So that was modeled for me as love. And although my parents, I never witnessed I've seen friendship. They had a good friendship, but there was no romance. I've actually never seen my parents embrace each other. And yet this is what I thought what a woman's supposed to do in order to earn love. And so here I go, although the results are not something that I'm hoping to get in my own life, yet I copy her, and yet I have exact same results as she is. No romance. So you're a great woman, but I just don't feel it for you.
It's so incredible. What's been passed down for women throughout the ages, throughout different cultures, and also throughout different generations of this, what a real woman is supposed to be, which is so much of what none of us desire. And I think that it was much more difficult for the women from our mother's generation and then their mother's generation, because that was just the way it seemed. And even though these seeds are planted in modern day women, because what it gets passed down, Shahrzad, you're such a beautiful example of a woman who you broke that with your lineage. You let that stop with your mother and your early dating dynamics, but that is so not the kind of relationship that you're in today. So I've had the great pleasure of meeting your glorious husband and witnessing your very passionate love affair. But what kind of relationship have you now been able to manifest?
Well, it is what I would like to call a soulmate relationship. It is something that even when talking about it, I get all melty. It is a dream come true for me. I am in a relationship that I don't have to prove my worth. I don't have to give in order to receive. I don't have to try so hard to meet my desires met. It is exactly what I said. It is willing. It's giving willingly. It just flows naturally. And I have learned so much the importance of communication. I've learned how to communicate my needs and not be passive aggressive about it, not in a hopeful way that, he will finally get it because this is the way I'm, it's all so open. We feel connected. I have my biggest supporter in life. I would call him that because he's just behind me all the time. And that's what I've always desired. He sees the power within me. He empowers me. He pushes me forward while telling me, reminding me that it's not what I do that makes me worthy. He just wants to make sure that I am happy with who I am. And I'm my happiest when I feel fulfilled. I'm my happiest when I feel that I'm living my purpose. So it's just incredible. And this is why I've decided to do this work, because I know what it feels like to be on the other end of the spectrum, to feel so lost and not knowing what to do, and having this big desire of having a harmonious and loving relationship, into just flipping it around. And it can happen so quickly, and now living the life of my dreams. So it is a dream come true, and I'm so grateful for it.
It is very beautiful to witness, and it is so well deserved, that is for sure. And I know that this is more than possible for all of the single women and the hurting hearts that are watching now, because they're probably sitting there saying, well, that's easy for Shahrzad because look how beautiful she is and look how adorable she is, and or maybe she just got lucky. And yet I know the very deep work that you do with so many of your private clients and the women who participate in your groups. So yes, this is possible for Shahrzad because she has manifested it, but many of your clients are getting really big results too. You want to share some of those so everyone gets this is not just for Shahrzad, this is for other women too.
Absolutely. And well, 10 years ago, I looked younger, and I didn't look worse than this. So, and I had the exact opposite. I didn't ever experience men turning around looking at me. And yet here I am in my mid-30s, and now that's what I experience. And the only thing that has changed is the way I feel about myself. Instead of trying so hard, is that I'm giving it to myself, and I am feeling it and living it and being it. So yes, of course it's possible. I'm an example. My clients are example. I have been fortunate to be working with some amazing women that they're going from such, many years of unhappiness, and in a matter of couple of months, having 4 or 5 men courting them, chasing them. I have women getting engaged left and right. I've had the wedding in just last month. So it is more than possible. It just takes the commitment and the willingness and the humility to change our ways and be the woman men adore.
Awesome. So give us just a little sneak peek real quickly into kind of the profile of one of these clients. Like if someone here is listening to like, there's no way I'm ever going to get asked out on a date, let alone engaged. Like take us through the journey, maybe pick one of the clients that like, where did she start and then where did she end up?
Sure. I had a client. She's still working with me. She started last year. She's 42 years old. When she first came to me, she was kicked out of her house with her, at the time, boyfriend that she was living with. She got kicked out, and she had the track record of men after men treating her that way. She was always feeling so rejected and so helpless because she had this dream of wanting to be in a harmonious relationship. And she also has a dream of wanting to have a family. So when she first came to me, completely broken, feeling so helpless and hopeless. And now, Gina, I swear, she has 4 men, four high quality men, begging for her time, wanting to spend time with her. Just she can't even remember like which day of the day she has dates with who, because they're just coming and wanting to give to her. And now she's sitting back and is like, yes, no. She has so many choices, and she's so close to getting the ring and getting the relationship of her dreams. And I'm so proud of her, because what it takes is commitment. What it takes is a real desire of really knowing what you want and knowing what you don't want. So the minute it shows itself, you are willing to walk away and go for your dream, owning that dream unapologetically, because that's what we are here for. We're here to love. We're here to feel connected. So this is my one of, like, she's such a huge success. I just love to see how she's become a woman who unapologetically owns her sexiness and owns her femininity.
So glorious, so glorious. And I know that you have so many others that you could talk about, but for the sake of time here today, why don't you share with everyone the real vision that you have for this summit, why you've put it together, and what they can expect next?
Awesome. So I had the pleasure of interviewing 4 other amazing coaches, and they all have such different perspectives. That's what I love about it. We have they're talking about femininity, they're talking about feminine energy and what it is and what it's not. We have all the practical tools from another coach that she talks about owning her sexiness and going and having fun, and when one coach that talks about consciousness and creating conscious coupling, that you are attracting the man and relationship of your dreams from your higher self instead of from your fears. So there's so much golden nuggets in those interviews. I love doing them. I love hearing, and I had to take notes because they were so good. So they can, our audience can expect to learn so much and just expect radical changes.
Wonderful, wonderful. So ladies, stay tuned for these amazing interviews. Make sure that you watch them all, set aside a time, because you absolutely deserve to be fully adored. You already are that woman, and so many of us have had to learn how to become our real selves, and that's exactly what Shahrzad has for you in this amazing summit. So thank you so much for everyone for being with us today. Shahrzad, thank you for shining your light. Thank you for stepping up to be the woman who you really are and doing all of the real authentic work that's necessary for you to be living literally your best life, being fully adored by your man.
Thank you so much, Gina. It's my absolute pleasure. I love what I do. And I'm so grateful that we spent this time together and had this conversation. Thank you so much.
Oh, my great pleasure. Lots of love. Take care, everyone.
Bye.